Hi everyone, my name is Emily and today I will be setting up September 2022 in my bullet journal. In honor of the recent House of Dragon premiere, I decided to make my theme for this month Game of Thrones. If you watched my video for last month's setup, you know I have been on a bit of a drawing kick lately. I've gotten back into drawing portraits of people and I've been enjoying using my Ohuhu alcohol markers, so I'm using them again this month. For the cover page, I was inspired by this moment from the season we dare not talk about, aka Season 8 of Game of Thrones. I know we all know that Season 8 was absolute trash, so I will spare you all my whole rant about it. But even though it was a terrible season, I thought this image with Daenerys strutting her stuff and her dragon taking flight behind her, therefore making it look like she has dragon wings, was just so stunning, and I thought it would make a cool cover page. Even though I was really excited to draw this cover page, I did struggle a bit to get the proportions right on Daenerys. You'll see later I end up cutting off her feet because I realized I definitely drew her legs too short. This just shows you all that even though I do these monthly videos, I am still developing and learning as an artist, and I still have a long way to go to draw people well. I think this drawing turns out okay, but one thing I really like is how I drew her chain with the 3 dragon heads with my silver gel pen so that it could really stand out. To be honest, even though I was excited to draw this cover page, I felt really unmotivated to work on my setup this month. I think I was starting to feel a little stagnant and uninspired with my bullet journal, but later on I come up with some ideas that make me feel excited and inspired again. Since I initially felt uninspired, I made up a lot of this setup as I went, but it actually allowed me to be more creative on the spot, even if it was sometimes a little stressful to not have an exact plan. So for example, I did a lot of trial and error with the cover page here, experimenting with the craft paper as a background. I thought it kind of symbolized maybe some mountains in the background, or perhaps, some fire and flames burning behind her, as we know, spoiler alert, Daenerys eventually causes with her dragons basically burning down all of, what's that place called? Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking. King's Landing, right? Is that right? I hope that's right. Throughout this month, I'll be using these stamps that I got off Amazon to use, and I think the font just felt appropriate for the Game of Thrones. It has that very formal serif looking font. Per usual, my first spread of the month is my important dates calendar, where I can write down all the things I have coming up in September, which will be very useful this month since September is going to be a busy one for me. Throughout this month, I will be using ripped pieces of my brown and black craft paper, as well as some stickers because, again, I was feeling a bit uninspired to do a doodle on every page. The next page is a general notes page, which I tried for the first time last month. I enjoyed just having a place to brain dump ideas or thoughts at the end of the day, so I am bringing it back. And instead of writing notes at the top of the page, I got the idea right as I was about to stamp a Game of Thrones quote instead. I felt like these spreads weren't reading Game of Thrones enough, and this idea really sparked some fun inspiration that I had been missing for this setup. Anyway, the quote is the classic, "When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die." These quotes did take a while to stamp out, but I really just focused on being present and patient during it to relax and enjoy the process as much as possible. My habit trackers were another very improvised spread this month. I was originally going to stamp them on craft paper, but they didn't show up too well, so I got the idea to draw a bunch of scrolls and stamp them on those. I think this spread turns out really cute. It was a lot of fun to draw these scrolls and their curled up edges. I also tried to draw a quill. It doesn't turn out the best, but hopefully you can tell what it's supposed to be. For my habits I am tracking this month, a lot of them are repeats from previous months, so you know that I am tracking reading, meditating, skincare, watering my plants, taking breaks from social media, and the last one is when I post on social media, which I was going through a good phase there for a while, but now I'm kind of in a rut again, but we'll see how it goes over September. To finish off the spread, I included another classic Game of Thrones quote. "That's what I do, I drink and I know things," which I feel like has become a bit of a cliche because I think at one point Walmart or Target or something sold a shirt that said it, and for like 2 years I feel like every 1 in 5 straight white boys was wearing this shirt at all times. But you know, I'm gonna push those feelings aside and put it here because the quote is such a vibe. Next up is my fitness tracker, which is a bit basic per usual, and don't watch me too closely because embarrassingly I mess up writing the numbers multiple times. Honestly, I mess up so bad that I don't even end up fixing it, and I'm just like, whatever, I'll figure it out. But yeah, apparently I'm not great at counting backwards. Okay, we're taking a break from setting up spreads to draw another portrait. I couldn't do a Game of Thrones theme without drawing my favorite character from the show, Brienne. I even have my Brienne Pop Funko here to keep me company. Part of me regrets not drawing her as the cover page, but I'm happy to have her here on her own page in all her glory. Brienne is my favorite character because, plain and simple, she is a badass feminist icon, end of story. But in all seriousness, her character means so much to me because I see myself in her. I too am really tall and grew up as an athlete. I hung out with the boys and played a lot of sports with them, but I never really felt like I fit into one group. I always felt too femme for the boys and like too masked for the girls. So her personality and her gender expression really resonate with me, and her journey as a character as well. Also, she always gave me like Arrow Ace vibes, and being Arrow Ace, I just wanted that for her too. Anyway, that's my TED Talk on why Brienne and also Gwendolyn Christie are amazing. While I don't think this is my best portrait ever, I am really happy with how it turns out, especially the bronze look of her armor and sword, which of course is her Oathkeeper sword. I had to include that in there for her. I think it was a risk putting that gold yellow color as an undertone, but it paid off and gave it that bronze look I was looking for. To finish off the page, I of course had to include a quote from the Queen herself, and no quote could be more appropriate or badass than, "All my life, men like you have sneered at me, and all my life I've been knocking men like you into the dust." Again, she is a queen and a badass feminist icon, and we love her. Next is my sleep tracker, and I feel like that is such a tough act to follow. This spread is very boring in comparison, but what can I say? It gets the job done. The other thing I did this month to give myself a bit of inspiration was change up my weekly spreads. I'm still using my rolling weekly to-do list with extra space to make daily to-do lists, but I added in a few extra things to help with my weekly planning and my mental health. To start, I have a place to plan my meals and write down events. I also have a space to write down the focus for that week. The focus can either be concrete goals like work out 3 times, or they can be like last week was rough, so this week just take it easy. I wanted to make it flexible, so if there's weeks I need to go easy on myself and practice more self-care, I can do that. To make the decoration of my weeklies a little more interesting, I cut the pages with these fancy scissors. I thought the sort of scalloped looking edge would kind of look like dragon scales. I've gone back and added a little section here on the first page for weekly affirmations. Again, I'm just trying to focus on self-care and mental health in September since I was feeling in a bit of a funk in August. Honestly, the thing that gets to me is as someone who works full-time and commutes 2 hours a day, I feel like there isn't enough time in the day when I get home to do everything I want, and I'm so tired by that point as well, and it really gets me down. But all this is also in an effort to go easier on myself and practice some self-compassion. In the boxes on the next page, I wrote, best thing that happened this week, and this week I was grateful for. I want to shout out at Color Me Happy, that's with 2 I's instead of a Y, on Instagram. Before I made my weeklies, I happened to be looking at their online shop, and a lot of these weekly boxes and ideas were inspired by things I saw in their self-care workbook, and I thought would be great for me to try out. So shout out to them, and I will link below the workbook I was looking at in case you all are interested. I normally set up all my weeklies in one go, but I was feeling lazy, so I'm skipping right to the end of the month review. I need to give another shout out, this time to Journal Away on YouTube. I pretty much ripped off this entire review page from her monthly reflection that she included in her September video. So again, I'll link her video below in case you would like to check it out. I hope you enjoy watching me struggle stamp September on a piece of paper. But after 3 tries, I finally realized to stamp on a bigger piece of paper and make it a lot easier. Sometimes, I just feel like I like to make things hard for myself. For the prompts included in my September review, they are, this month was, I was grateful for, as well as 2 boxes to write highs and lows from throughout the month, and a spot to write my favorite TV show, song, YouTube channel, hobby, and memory. Usually my end of month reviews are a lot simpler than this, so I'm excited to try something more detailed and different. Alright, that concludes my September 2022 Game of Thrones setup. Here is one last flip through of all my spreads. Thank you so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate anyone who watches my videos but also makes it this far into the video. If you're watching House of Dragon, comment below how you're enjoying it so far, and please subscribe if you haven't already, because I do all my monthly themes based off my favorite TV shows and movies. I have fun doing it, I hope you have fun watching, and just a gentle reminder that if you're going through a funk or a tough time, try to incorporate more self-care in your daily routine, or at least weekly life, and give yourself some self-compassion. And please take care of yourselves until next time.